to 5-Star Baking and Cooking Classes. My name is Crystal. I'm going to be your host and your teacher. And we are still going to be going to Ireland with Irish soda bread. Now, Irish soda bread is really good as an accompaniment to any stew. It's really good. It is loaded with currants, cinnamon and sugar. It kind of offsets any stew that you have, especially when it's Irish. But you can use it for any stew. Okay, it's really good. It's very simple to make, only takes a few ingredients. All right, so let's get started. You ready to get started? Woo! I am. All right, so our ingredients are milk, lemon juice, baking powder, and baking soda, salt, sugar, your currants, and then we have, oh, you like the cardamom, sorry, coriander, and then your, goodness, I cannot believe this, your cinnamon sugar, so basic, cinnamon sugar. Where else do we see cinnamon sugar? Like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I mean, there's just everything cinnamon sugar. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take the lemon juice and we are actually going to add it to the milk. Okay, now when you take lemon juice and add it to the milk, it's going to make it sour. Okay, and that's exactly what you want. So you're going to mix that in and you're going to leave it there for about 5 minutes, all right? Now, in that time, what we're going to do is we are going to sift our flour and prepare our flour. Okay, now when I sift my flour, you can do it one of two ways. You can take wax paper and sift your flour on the wax paper, and then after you're done, take the wax paper, put the remaining flour back, and then throw out your wax paper. But if you want to save on cost, you know, anywhere to save on cost, why not? From there, you can just do like I do. I have a board, a cutting board, specifically for flour. So that way, I just sift my flour and I take the excess flour, put it back in there, and from there, you know, just wash it, put it away, saves on cost, especially when you may need your wax paper for something else. Okay, so I'm going to do this. So how is everyone doing today? Are you doing fabulous? Fabulous? I hope so, because I'm doing fabulous. Yes, I am. I mean, the weather today was beautiful. I don't think this weather knows what it wants to do with itself. I wish spring would come on, but you know what? They say enjoy each day for what it is. Enjoy each moment for what it is. So I take that into consideration when I think about the weather. You know, enjoy it for what it is, because you'll want to rush it and find that the day is done and over with, and a new day comes. And then you look up and a day turns into a week turns into a month, and we continue to go. So I'm not going to go ahead and rush it. I will just go ahead and enjoy this weather for what it is. Now, because I bake so much, I keep a big container full of flour. Yeah, so I know that Groundhog said 6 more weeks of winter, which isn't surprising to me. I mean, it seems like this weather is kind of off. And from there, I mean, if you think about it, last year, we actually had snow on the first day of spring. We thought we were in the clear, and the weather was like, wrong, sorry. You're not in the clear yet. You're going to ring in the spring day. with some flurries. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. Do you think we're going to get like a huge snowstorm? I hope not. I really do. If we do, and we get one more snowstorm, if we get a big snowstorm, let it be where I can just stay in and lay in a bed and just eat and watch movies, okay? Like, just, I don't know, just let me be able to stay in the bed, eat, eat, and watch movies. You know, something fun. You know, as they say, a staycation in your house. I don't mind. Oh my goodness. It almost reminds me of like the rain, you know. The rain, it's so pretty when you can stay in and you can look at it from the inside and you're just like, oh, look at the rain. It's no fun when you have other things that you have to do. Ay. But I'm excited. I'm excited. You know, all the energy is changing. You know, I find that I have lots to do. Lots to do. Okay, so we need just one more of flour. And this is a little bit of an unusual bread. But like I said, it's really good. Okay. Now, I explained before that even though a lot of your flour on the box says pre-sifted, it's always good though still to sift your flour, especially when it comes to your baked good products. You know, just want to, okay. So there we go with that. Yeah. Okay. And then I just take it. So I love these little cutting boards. They have them all over, but I think this one is a cutting board that's from Walmart, which makes it very simple. Okay. Yeah, because you need to, for it to properly moisten and to help your dough rise, you want to be able to at least let your milk and your lemon juice sit for 5 minutes. Okay, so that's like a big thing. And it's probably about 5 minutes now. I kind of go off of, I don't know, like a feeling of time. Is that a good or a bad thing? I don't know. I guess it could be a good and a bad thing. or a good and not so good thing. Time. See, remember I told you I was always time? I can pretty much tell the time without looking at the time. That's pretty bad. Okay. So now from there, we are going to add our baking soda to the milk and the lemon juice, okay? Now, once you add the once you add the baking soda to the milk, you're just going to whisk it a little bit so it's thoroughly mixed. And you are going to leave that go for about 2 more minutes, okay? So now, in our flour mixture, we are going to add, and that's what my apologies earlier for the spice, but it's actually caraway seeds and then our currants. So currants are a little bit like, raisins, except they're kind of smaller. You know, they look like, I don't know, like little, I don't know what they look like, but they're smaller than your raisins. You can find currants next to your raisins and prunes, okay? So we're going to take this. We're going to, you know, make sure that it's thoroughly in there, kind of pulled apart. Okay. And whenever you make a bread that has like fruit in it, you always want to mix it with your flour with it before you add it into a mixture. That way, any fruit or any items that have like a weighty, you know, sense to them, they won't fall down, okay? They're not going to sink down to the bottom of whatever it is, whether it's cake or pie. So, and then in here we have our baking powder, our sugar, and our salt. So we're going to add that in. Okay. And we don't need a big whisk. We're just going to continue on with our smaller whisk. But you do want to make sure that this is very thoroughly mixed. Okay. All right. Now, the next thing you're going to do is we are going to be adding our milk mixture to this. So while that's doing that, we're actually going to move these away because I have to roll this dough out. And we're going to move Mr. Jelly Belly. Move Mr. Jelly Belly. Mr. Jelly Belly going to watch us from over here. Yes, Daddy. Okay. It has a really nice flavor to it. And I mean, the smell is really good. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to, hold on, I always still want to make sure it's thoroughly mixed. You know, I just thought about it. I put the flour away and I needed the flour. Okay. We're going to take this and we're going to go and it would be better to get a plastic spoon. I mean, you can get whatever spoon you like, but I'm going to take this and mix this in. Okay. See, that's getting thick. Okay. Now, this is where you're going to get your hands really sticky. And this is why you want to put this on a floured surface. So what we're going to do is I normally like to put something down. This is what I've had before. I am a cake designer. I design cakes for a long time. I did custom cakes, so I haven't done custom cakes in a while, but I used to do wedding cakes and different things like that. But I'm going to use this mat. Now what we're going to do, we're going to put a little bit of flour down. Okay. Okay. We are going to take this and we're going to plop it down. Haha, plop it down. Just plop it down. Now, if you're doing a different type of bread, maybe a loaf bread, of course you would go and cover the dough, put it in a warm place and let it rise. But this is not one of those. So it is going to have this sticky type of consistency. And I'm going to put some flour on my hands too, because when you don't want to put a lot of flour, because the flour can change the consistency of your dough, but you are going to want to put enough flour on that as you're kneading this. You know, so what you're going to do is you're going to take this, okay, and you're just going to keep coming around, like, it's just a way of mixing it, believe it or not, so that it's you would think that you should do this, you know, that you can do this in a mixer or a bowl, but no. Okay, you want to actually knead it. And this is the way to do that, is this way that I'm showing you. So make sure when you do this that you give yourself enough working room, okay? And you want to do this for about 3 minutes. Yeah. And you know, for those people who like dough, this is a pretty decent dough. So once you go and take it and your hands are all sticky with this dough, you know, you can, you know, take your fingers and I guess lick it off if you want. Now you see it's starting to have a consistency to where you're able to like maneuver it around. This is what you want with the dough. So you want to do that for about 3 minutes. Okay. You see the elasticity? Great. Okay, so that's what you want. I'm going to do this for about 3 minutes, because what you're doing with, you know, kneading this and putting it around is you're actually agitating the ingredients. So, okay. And that was about 3 minutes. Okay. I'm not even going to bother with like clearing my hands, okay? Because what you're going to do is you are going to take a pie pan. You're going to make sure it's greased. Now, when it comes to the pie pan and having it greased, I would use shortening, okay? Shortening is a lot better when you're putting something in the oven. It burns slower. Okay. So we are going to take this. Woohoo. Yep, there we go. See? Your kids might enjoy this. Get them to do this part. Let them have fun. At least you won't be yelling at them about making a mess. You know, you mix it for them and then have them do the kneading. They'll be happy that they could do this, and you accomplish not getting your hands all sticky, and they're happy. You know, you might even occasionally catch them putting their fingers in their mouth with the dough. You know, like when you're making a cake or brownies or cookies, you know. Okay. So what you do is you take this, and since your hands are already, you can take your hands and do it. You're going to spread it out. You can use a spatula for this too, okay? You don't have to continue to use your hands. But since my hands are already sticky, I'm just going to go ahead and use my hands. All right. Okay, and you're going to level this out as much to the edge as possible, okay? Because even though this is bread, you do want to get it to as much to the edge as possible. Okay. And have some type of uniformity to it, all right? Okay. So then from there, you are going to take cinnamon sugar and you are going to cover the full bread. Okay, and then you're going to bake this in a 350-degree oven for about 45 minutes. And again, check it in 45 minutes. How can you tell when it's done? You can take a knife or a toothpick, put it into your bread. If it comes out clean, then that means that it's done. If it does not, then you can go ahead, leave it in for no more than, I would say, about 5 minutes. I wouldn't even say 10, but about 5. Okay, once it comes out, you want to let it slightly cool, but not too much. Take butter, and you're going to actually then let the butter melt over top, okay? So that would be all. Thank you. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Be my again.
Happy